The silence in the room felt heavier than usual, each tick of the distant clock amplifying the quiet sting of regret. You stand there, perhaps replaying a conversation where patience frayed, or revisiting a moment where a promise to yourself, a commitment to a better habit, quietly dissolved. That familiar ache of having fallen short, of having acted contrary to the person you aspire to be, settles deep within. It's a common human experience, this stumble, this lapse. We set intentions, we build our resolve, and then a moment of weakness, a surge of emotion, or simply a lack of vigilance, and we find ourselves off the path we swore to walk. For many, this moment of realization can quickly morph into a descent into self-reproach. We wallow, we replay the failure, not to learn from it, but to punish ourselves with it. We might spiral into thoughts like, "I always do this," or "I'm not strong enough," or "What's the point of even trying?" This is the danger, allowing a single misstep to define our journey, to convince us that the path of virtue is either too steep or completely out of reach. This is precisely where the Stoic perspective offers a profound counter-narrative. A Stoic acknowledges the fall, yes, but they refuse to wallow. Their gaze is not fixed on the mud of the past, but on the path that stretches ahead, waiting for their return. How does one then not just acknowledge the stumble, but truly return to the path with a renewed sense of purpose and integrity? It begins, fundamentally, with three core principles: honesty, humility, and renewed commitment. First, honesty. This is not the brutal, self-flagellating honesty that seeks to diminish you, but a clear-eyed, courageous assessment of what happened. It's about facing the facts without embellishment or excuse. What was the trigger? Was it a lack of preparation, a moment of unexamined anger, a craving indulged? This honesty requires stepping back from the immediate emotional reaction and observing the situation as if you were an impartial witness. It's the moment you say to yourself, without judgment, "I acted contrary to my values in that situation." This isn't about shaming yourself, but about accurately diagnosing the lapse. For instance, if you lost your temper, the honest assessment isn't just "I got angry." It's "I allowed myself to be provoked, and I chose to express my anger in a way that was unproductive and unkind." This precise understanding is the first crucial step back towards the path. Second, humility. Having honestly assessed the situation, humility guides us away from despair and towards a recognition of our shared human condition. No one is perfect. Marcus Aurelius himself, a Stoic emperor, wrote extensively about his own struggles with patience, ego, and the demands of his position. Humility means understanding that stumbling is part of the human journey, not a sign of fundamental brokenness. It's about letting go of the expectation of immediate, flawless perfection and embracing the reality of progress, not instant transformation. When we act with humility, we forgive ourselves for being human, not for our misdeeds, but for our inherent fallibility. This forgiveness is not an excuse to repeat the error, but a release from the paralysis of shame, allowing us to pick ourselves up without the crushing weight of self-condemnation. It tells us, you are not defined by this one lapse, but by your continuous effort to return to what is right. Finally, renewed commitment. This is where the Stoic moves from introspection to action. Honesty illuminates the error, humility releases the shame, and renewed commitment charts the course forward. This isn't a vague promise to do better. It's a specific, practical rededication. If the lapse was one of patience, your renewed commitment might be to pause for 5 breaths before responding to provocation. If it was a broken promise to yourself about a daily habit, the renewed commitment is not to mourn the lost day, but to simply begin again right now. It is the conscious decision to adjust your sails, to correct your bearing, and to continue the voyage. The past is fixed, the future is open to your choices, and the present moment is the only one you truly possess to enact change. This commitment is often strengthened by premeditation of future difficulties, thinking about how you will react when similar circumstances arise again, reinforcing your desired response. Consider the person who, in a moment of weakness, gave in to a temptation they had vowed to resist. The honest reflection would be, I chose the immediate pleasure over my long-term well-being and integrity. The humble acceptance would be, I am human and impulses can be strong, but I am also capable of reason. The renewed commitment is the choice, the very next moment, to not dwell on the lapse, but to immediately resume the virtuous path, to make the next decision aligned with their values, and to learn from the misstep so it becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. The path of virtue is not a straight, unblemished line. It is a winding journey, often traversed in fits and starts, with occasional detours and momentary falls. Everyone stumbles. The true measure of a Stoic, or indeed of any individual committed to living well, is not that they never fall, but that they know how to return to the path. They do so with the clear-eyed honesty that acknowledges reality, the gentle humility that accepts human fallibility, and the firm, unwavering commitment to keep moving forward, to try again, and to continue shaping themselves into the person they aspire to be. It is in this continuous honest return that true character is forged and virtue is truly embodied. What does returning to the path look like for you today? Perhaps it's a small conscious decision or a moment of quiet reflection. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing or sharing it with someone who might benefit from this perspective. Until next time, keep striving, keep learning, and keep returning to your path.